I'm so glad you're here. If you and I have not met, my name is Emma Lou with Heartfelt Creations, and today we're going to create with the Italiana Riviera collection. I'm so excited to bring this to you in the digital download version that just debuted to everybody earlier this week. Now, if you have been watching from the sidelines, this is your chance to jump on board. We're going to have some fun creating some beautiful projects together. We are going to create an Italiana Riviera landscape. You'll be whisked away to the Italian countryside. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, join me. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're watching from. And also, I'd like to have you introduce yourselves and tell me, have you created with this collection, or have you been one of our crafters that has been wishing, wanting, and hoping that we would relaunch this in the digital version? But before we get started, it's fall here in Indiana, so we have all the cozy feels going on, and I wanted to show you my little pal that's beside me on my desk. I scooped this up recently at a store. I thought it was so cute. So that is sitting by my side watching me, but I will set it to the side so I don't accidentally spill it while we're creating together. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We're gonna get started creating these beautiful, sorry, I just hit the wrong button. But we are going to get started creating this beautiful project together. Now, before we get started, I am going to show you some of the pieces that I did cut out, and we're going to do some coloring tips and techniques for you. So as you can see this, I'm going to just pull in just a little bit closer so you can see exactly how we're going to do this coloring. But with this, when you create, it's taking a little bit of time, so just hang on with me. When you create with these, you're going to be able to create those one-of-a-kind projects, whether you like to color and do all the detailed colorings. If you're following us on social media, you'll see lots of different card samples where we did do that, okay? So with this, what you're going to be able to do is do your coloring when you get the digital stamped images. Those come with the files included for cutting them out, so you don't have to buy something separately for that. So cheers to that, right? So with this, you've got the images to print them out in black, color them, do all that stuff. But with this collection, you also have papers that come intact with the 12 by 12, and then also the elements. The elements are those pieces that are already colored for you, and you cut them out with your digital machine. So the basics of this is you buy the digital downloads, you download them to your computer, you print them out on your favorite printer, and then you send them through your digital die cut machine. So it's a simple step-by-step process. If you are sitting on the sidelines, you don't know how to do this, let us know and we'd be happy to link a video for you, okay? So these are just some of the images I cut out. So just imagine sitting at your craft room table with all these images, just like I have, all cut out. They're ready to have your fingers create a masterpiece with them. Okay, so all you have to do is the shaping, you have to do the arranging, you have to do the gluing together, the assembling. So a lot of this feels to me like I have a nanny in my craft room or an assistant in my craft room printing and cutting my pieces. So all I have to do is spend most of my time utilizing what I like to do, and that is actually creating the finished projects, actually going in and creating that art from the heart. So here's just a couple pieces that are cut out for me. They're ready to go, and quite frankly, this allows you no excuses for not giving cards to your friends. Like seriously, I sometimes am just sitting here creating while my machine is printing and cutting out, which is so fun. Now just look at this detail. Here you have a beautiful square with the detail images, and you're just going to be able to add that to, like, you could do a small A2 size card, that 4¼ by 5½ inches, add your sentiment, add a couple dimensional, send that off in the mail, and you've got a beautiful card. Now I've got to show you this. I hope you can see this really well, but this is the Italiana Riviera collection. So you've got this beautiful Italian landscape scenes, and then you've got these little wine bottles with like the little wine glasses. They're so cute. It's kind of hard to see, but the great thing with this is since you have the digital downloads, you get to upscale or, downsize this. So this image could be 5 times the size. So think about creating a shaped wine bottle card, right? Or in some of the photos that we shared online, you'll see like we may create tags to put around a wine bottle if you wanted to do like a custom topper. But in this collection, you also have these little pieces. There's little roses. There's these beautiful little leaves. Now, some of you have been asking for leaves. The leaves are scattered throughout our different digital collections that we've launched out. So this one has a beautiful ivy that you're going to be able to cut apart, do so much fun stuff. And like, look at this beautiful iconic scene here. You've seen that before. Here you have the oval. Here I've got this banner. You can make this larger for a 12 by 12 sheet. You can make it small. And then this one, I absolutely love. This one, you could size this up for a bigger sheet, but you can really make it super small and have a lot of fun with it. So as you can tell, I'm so stoked. So today we're going to do some coloring. We're going to create one card together, and then next week I'll be back with some more different ways we're going to use the other pieces within this collection. So we are going to have loads of fun. So mark your calendars for 1 p.m. Eastern Time next week so you don't miss out on that. But first of all, we're just going to do a classic coloring on this image. Let me show you what I'm using. Let me just back up a little bit. I'm using the Zig markers. This is the 48 color set. We do carry some crafting basic essentials on our website. If you don't have a marker set you love, I use this all the time, and it has a great variety of colors that you're going to be using from, and I'll show you how to use these. And as with anything, I always say just practice, practice, practice. That is what gets you accustomed to coloring with your specific marker that you have. Now, where is my dark purple marker? Okay, I stuck it back in the case. I'm like, I just have a lavender marker here. So here it is. It's sticking right there. It's like, here I am. It's hiding out a little bit. So you could do a two-tone color blend with this using the lilac and the violet color if you wanted to. But I am going to show you how you can mostly do it with just the darker purple, which is the violet. Now I get a piece of clear paper that's like kind of like a resistant paper, kind of like a soap tray. And we're going to use our watercolor blender, and we're going to pick some of that color up off of our tape. And I'm going to hold this up a little bit so it's more of an angle so you can see this. It's not the easiest way to color, but I want you to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. If you are new, you can always brush out on a piece of cardstock so you can see. Oops, I just see that I grabbed a watercolor that doesn't have the watercolor in it. I had my son playing at my crafting desk. He loves to do that quite a bit, so sometimes he switches things out on me, so that keeps me on my mommy toes. Okay, so this was one my son was playing with, so we'll get the red off. And we're going to get that purple in there. Actually, since there is a reddish hue in here, that will give you a little bit of a reddish undertone if you are having reddish berries. So we might just roll with it, right? Let's do that. Are you wanting to have a fun little creative exploration? So if you have a red undertone, that's going to give a little bit of a red undertone on your grape. If you're not confident with it, you can kind of, color that out a little bit. But I think we're going to do that. We're just going to go with that and just have some fun. Okay, so we're going to just start coloring in those grapes. And I did the first one that was a little bit of a darker purple. And since we're going with that red undertone, I'm just going to kind of blend that out. Now, if I'd be doing this for myself and I wanted to have all the grapes kind of looking the same, I would have done the same with just the purple. But this gives you a little bit of a different idea on how you can do this. So it's kind of like a happy mistake, right? Do you see how that berry is really dark with that light pop of red? All right, there's different types of grapes. In fact, we just came back from a trip to Oregon, and there were some valleys that had those vineyards that were just lush and just hanging with grapes. So the different grapes had different tints of colors depending on the variety that we had. So I don't know about you, but I've been crafting since 2009, and I remember one of my first images that I love to color was a beautiful, luscious grape image. There was just something fun about coloring these big, purple, luscious grapes, and quite frankly, I've never got bored of it since. So it just must be in my DNA. But hey, if you do not like to color these, you don't have to. We totally have those images colored for you in the digital paper elements so that it is done for you. I'm actually pretty excited about this happy mistake. Or this, of what my son pulled off with having my marker completely covered with red. And I didn't realize it because it gives you that view of what a different grape can look. So it's going to look all purple if you would have just been dipping it into purple. And if you're not sure how this was accomplished with how do you get the red on it, well, all I can tell you is imagine a 4-year-old having a marker like this, and he just douses the entire marker with red. Now, oftentimes, if I am in my craft room, I have an office and a craft room together. He'll come in if I'm not sitting at my craft desk. He'll be sitting over here doing his fun stuff while I'm doing maybe like some printing and cutting or even working on my computer screen. So there's a little behind the scenes clip. So imagine yourself just being a 4-year-old and dipping this tip into red, immersing it completely. And look at how pretty that is. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit closer for you. But my zooming in portion, there we go. It's being a little bit slow. It's not, okay, there you can see that very well. See that? So you can kind of see the two-tone color effects with those. Now, if you want to do something fun with these grapes, you can drop some crystal lacquer on top. We might do that a little bit later on. If you haven't seen that, it looks amazing on fruit and berries. But here's the thing. If you've been watching from the sidelines and you've been thinking, Emmylou, I love this, but I just don't know if I could do it with the digital downloads, here's what I'm going to tell you. I was in your same shoes before I ever did anything with digital downloads, and it was largely because I felt like the people that were doing digital stuff were just doing it on their computer screens, and they used words and language that I didn't understand, and it seemed very complicated. So I set out on a journey to make it very simple for myself and for you. So your main thing is just learning how to download the image, how to print it to your printer, and then send it to your Cricut machine. You're not doing like all this fancy, like jump through this hoop, and through this hoop to get an image to do something for you in a program. So that's what I want you to erase from your brains with that. So the main thing for you is just to get your machines hooked up, that they're talking to each other. And if you're not the guru with that, chances are somebody in your family is. They can just set up your machines for you and they'll talk to each other, and there's just going to be like screens that pop up and say, okay, click print. Now click cut and print, things like that. I like that. It's just a step-by-step thing to do. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines, and quite frankly, the mess I have in my craft room doesn't exist like it used to, and I save so much space, which I absolutely love. Now, you can have best of both worlds. You can mix your hybrid and your digital crafting together. So there's no right or wrong way. I'm just saying if you've been sitting on the sidelines, it's something that you'll want to overcome. Just like when I first started crafting, I didn't know how all the different inks worked. What was a dye ink, a pigment ink, something that I can emboss, all those things, like that terminology was foreign to me. But today I could tell you how to do that in my sleep, right? In fact, I have done that. I have demoed in my sleep. But here's the thing. Just like you learned how to make those dimensional flowers, you can learn how to do the digital crafting very simply. So on with what we're doing here. Okay, here we go. So you continue to color those. You can color your heart out with these images. Stunning, amazing ways you can do that. There's samples that we posted on social media that you can see what you will create with that. What we're going to do next is we're going to create a very simple card together. I love easel cards. In case you haven't noticed that, I love easel cards. And here's why. They flatten for mailing, and then you can easily set them up as like a little easel within a stand. Just hold on a second while I get some foam dots for myself. And then we're going to get started with this. So you could do a 6x6 card. This is a little bit smaller. I had some cards that were pre-scored and folded. They're just a little bit smaller than that. So you get to adjust the sizes that you want to create, and you get to print these out in the size that you want to. So when I am printing them out, I do kind of keep it in mind Like, what am I wanting to create? Am I wanting to create a small A2 size card? Am I wanting to create a, you know, a 5x7 card, and so forth, right? Like over here, like this piece right here, I knew I wanted to create it, the shape of it kind of beckoned for a 5x7 size because it was oblong. So I printed it out in a similar size to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue these two pieces together, and we're going to create an easel card. Now, I don't know exactly how this card's going to turn out. I have some basic pieces around me, but this is the joy of watching the creative process together. So that's what we're going to do. So here we go. I'm just going to grab my dry as clear glue. We're going to glue this together. So you have these pieces all printed and cut out, and you're ready to assemble these. So just imagine having like close to, I probably have, I don't know, it's just a guess, but probably 40 pieces of this collection that I printed out. And they're just sitting here ready for me to create with them, which I think is super, super fun. Now with this, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to layer, I believe, this piece in the back. So we have that standing there. Or we could also just have a beautiful cluster of flowers. So we get to choose how we want to utilize this. So you can always kind of play around, or you could just, you know, kind of do that start white if you don't want it as busy. So you get to choose how you want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this piece down just a little bit so we can go ahead and layer that in. And I just want to just double check my measurements here. Yeah, so this is a 5.5 by 5.5 card base. So we're just going to go ahead and cut that down. So tell me if you have created with this collection before. I always love when we launch a digital release, how you don't have to wait around for the for the mail carrier. You can just buy it, download it, and start creating instantly. And honestly, I don't think I'm used to that yet, because it's like, wait a minute. We just launched it this morning. How is so-and-so in Australia already creating something? Like, you must have had some sort of inside scoop. And that always just still catches me off guard. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. You launch today, you buy, you download, and you can start creating immediately. And I just look at how beautiful that card base is already. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this just pretty much in the center. And that's going to go off the edge a little bit. But remember, we have a 5.5 by 5.5 card, which is okay. So we can pop it into a 6x6 envelope, which is wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to glue this down. And then you can decorate this however you desire. Okay, now I wanted to kind of have that cozy vineyard scene in there. We're going to enjoy the beautiful moments in there. We're just going to have some fun with it. So, well, first up, we're going to, I have a couple different tags going on in here. We're going to bring this scene right up in here. And we're going to grab those foam dots, bring those in. Speaking of foam dots, I know, especially around the Christmas season, so many of us utilize lots and lots of foam dots. The ones we sell on our website, they have little tabs for easy removal, and these are some of the best foam dots I've ever found. That's why we continue to carry them. But the depth and the cushion is amazing. So if you're gearing up for Christmas cards, doing lots of them, this is your time to think about those basic essentials that you want to make sure you're stocked up on. We do offer a 20% discount on our basic crafting essentials that we ship to you. And then, drum roll, that is when you're an insider member. Crucial information. I just was in my little creative zone here. But if you're an insider member, you get insider membership for $12.99 a month. Basically the cost of, these days, about 2 of your favorite beverages, unless you make your own tea like I did. And you get a 40% discount on all your digital images too, which is wonderful. Now, you can go ahead and you can add that beautiful rose in there. So I'm going to grab my foam dot and bring that into the side. And we're going to add some. Now, if you wanted to, you could bring in like individual roses. If you have the individual rose and you could add some dimension to that, you can do all sorts of things. So don't just think like, oh, I am limited to just a flat flower. I'm just showing you some simple basic things today. Then I have this beautiful ivy. I'm going to clip it off and we are going to add just a little bit more pizzazz here on this side, coming out with that, and we're going to add that in with our Dries clear glue, and we'll bring that out the side, and you very quickly have just this stunning card. Now, like I was saying, we are going to add this enjoy life's beautiful moments, and I think we're going to add that down here. Now there is not going to be a big, actually, you know what? I just had an idea. This is the joys of creating on the fly, but I think I'm gonna do a little white backer behind here to make that stand out. I was like, it's not gonna stand out a lot, but we can make that pop if we want to. So we're just gonna go ahead and add just a little white skinny line behind here. Do you like the videos where I am kind of designing on the fly and you see my design process, or do you like it more how when I'm just in the mode of like I know exactly what I'm going to do and I just boom show you? I'd like to hear from you what you prefer. I don't mind doing both ways. I sometimes find that if you see me designing on the fly, you kind of see a little bit more of my why I decided something and kind of what I was thinking when I was making that decision. However, sometimes you get into more of the minutia of seeing me cut something on the fly that takes up a little bit more of your screen time. Okay, so here we go. We have that beautiful little piece. I am going to cut my foam dots in half and layer those on the back to give that just a little bit of dimension. And then that will create a beautiful little sentiment that we can anchor with some of our little embellishments. How cool is that? Now, if you have a crafting friend you love to create with, you can share this video with them as well. And share some comments when you have that aha moment. I'm going to bring this in right over here, and we're going to kind of take advantage of that so grateful for you. It's a little bit hard to see on the screen right there, but it says enjoy life's beautiful moment, so grateful for you. And then we are left with what do we want to add to the bottom? Like we could just add a very simple little rose, which I think is what I'm going to do, and have a little ivy leaf spray on the background. Now you could have done something with a wine glass, a grape, all sorts of fun stuff, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple. And voila! Now all that's left is this. You can't have a card without glitter and without adding some crystal lacquer and all that fun stuff. Now, if you haven't done anything with crystal lacquer, it is the bee's knees. I haven't used this one today, so we'll see if it is on clog, because these are pretty easily get those what I call crystal lacquer boogies. Excuse my language, but that is what I call them. So let's see if we can, there we go. I always have to kind of unclog that just a little bit every time I use it. Okay, so what you want to do is I'm just going to do a couple, but you're going to want to just put a little dot of that crystal lacquer right on each grape. So you're just going to do a little dot and just come off and have that little, it's kind of like a clear fingernail polish. Okay, so have some fun with this. I can't wait to see what you create. Share your projects with us right here on social media. I'll be back next week to share some more projects utilizing this collection that I think you'll absolutely love. If you don't have the Italiana Riviera collection yet in the digital downloads, get them today and you can get started creating right away. If you're not an Insider member, I highly recommend getting the Insider membership first, and you can start applying the savings right away. So what do you really get with the Insider membership is this. You get a 40% discount. It's applied automatically as soon as you become a member, and that's $12.99 a month. but you get that 40% discount. You get a 20% savings on anything we ship to you. If you're in the US, you get free shipping on any order size, which is phenomenal. And then you also get access to all of our online classes. Those online classes are 2 hours in length. It is a creative vault jam-packed with over 50 classes that you're absolutely going to love. If you love these little 15-20 minute videos, you're going to love that. Think about it like a GPS that guides you through how to do these projects that look so complicated that you think you couldn't do. But as you go through it step by step, you end up with this project that you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I created this. So I can't wait to have you start that journey with us if you haven't already joined the hundreds of crafters that enjoy that membership benefit monthly. And then also get the Italiana Riviera, and you'll be whisked away to an Italian countryside. And if you can't tell, Italy is one of my favorite countries to visit. I love the culture, I love the countryside, and all the things that go with that. So if you're that type of girl, you'll love creating with this collection. Can't wait to see what you create. Share those projects with us right here on social media. We'll see you next week at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Until next time, bye.